Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this will be the part 2 of the list that we have already seen in the previous video. So we will be extending more, learn more about some of the list. So in the previous video we already learned a lot about some of the important function and some of the important terms related to this to the list. In this video we will see some more stuffs. So let's get into the video. So before that I want to tell you that since we have not learned functions yet, so if you now just grab what the function is, you can just think of a function as like a machine which takes an input as an layman term I'm just explaining, and which does some process and gives you some output. Okay, so just as of now just think of function like this. For example, if I define a function, this is the function name, this is the parameter that it take. It can take multiple parameters, and then it will basically return something. It will process something and this function will return something. Okay, return something. So just think of function like this, because in this video we will see just what are the different function and different important functions associated with the list. So this is important for you to understand as of now that what the function is. If you already know about function, that's fine. So let's get ahead. So let's say the first function is going to be how the insert function. So we have seen how we slice a list and all that stuff, but we have also seen the append function, where we put some values to the list. And by the way, the function is basically called an object with the help of the dot operator. So if you have a list like 1 2 3 and 4, and if I want to call this particular function, I have to take a dot operator. This is called dot operator, and just call the function, and this is called the argument of the function, that the input of the function that I already talked about here, that a function takes some argument. So once we do that, it will return a list back, or not return a list back, basically it will put the content in the list itself, okay, in place. So your now list will become 1 2 3 4 with 5. So now there's another function which is called the insert function. Now this append function will always insert element at last. So let's say I want to insert something at in between of the something. So we will do that with the insert function. So the insert function, basically the first argument takes the index, so just give him the index, and the second is the value itself. So for example, if this is the list 1 2 3 4 and I want to insert 3 at particular position 2, 2 means somewhere between 2 and 4, I have to insert 3, so I will give an index. So here 2 is the index and 3 is the value. So after insertion, you can see that I have inserted 3 in between 2 and 4. So this is how your insert function is going to be working in Python. Now we will see what are the other functions, but there is something where how we will delete something from a list. So there is something called a del operator. So this is not related to a list, first of all. So you cannot do something like, if you have a list like this 1 2, you cannot do like a dot del, because this is not a function related to the list. It is something which is already present in the Python. So let's say if I have a simple list 1 2 3 and 4, and I want to delete, let's say 3, so I will just call del and this function like 0 1 2, so it will be just like, so this will basically delete your 3 from this particular list. Let me show you with an example. Let's say we have a list, and let's say I want to delete item at index 2. I will just call this particular function, and now you can see my upcoming list will just remove that particular element, like I have just deleted 3. So this is how a delete is basically working. And now we have learned about delete. There's another function which is called the remove function. Now remove is work like if you want to delete something by the value. Let's say if you have something, a list, let's say you have city like Allahabad, you have Varanasi, and you want to delete it by the value. Let's say you want to delete Varanasi, or let's say Allahabad. So you just call the remove function and pass the value to it. So in this case, if I want to delete Allahabad, I will just pass Allahabad. So this is how your delete remove function is basically working. I will show you in the code as well. Just understand that how this function is basically working and what does it take. So now another important topic is about that we have seen that how to delete something from the list. We have seen the del operator. We have seen remove. Now there is another function which is called the pop function. Now whenever we remove something, it doesn't get back that what element is deleted. Okay, whenever you use del, the same thing is that it doesn't know that what element has been deleted. But with the help of the pop, we can delete the element and get back the deleted element as well. For example, if I have 1, 2, 3 and 4, and if I just call a dot pop, so it will basically remove at a specific position. We can do that by the specific position, but if we don't, it will remove it from the last. So it will remove it from this last. Okay, so a will remove element from the last, and also this function return that removed element. So for example, if I just a dot pop and if I store it in variable, so a dot pop, so if I print result here, it will give me 4. So it will give you the deleted element as well. Now how is going to be this is important, because with the help of this you can actually create a data structure which is called the last in first out. So in the last in first out, what happens is, like, it is also called stack, by the way. So let's say you insert some element, first came in, then you append something to the list with 3, then 4, and then for like 3 and 4. But when you call pop, so it will basically remove 4. So you can see the last came person was 4, and the first came out is also 4. So this is last in first out. Okay, and this data structure is called stack. So we will see data structure as well. If you want, I will create a separate playlist for that, but as of now you can see that we can use list to create a data structure called stack. And similarly, if I use or append and remove item from the first, like let's say if I just append an item, okay, and remove it from the same end, that we will be able to create the first in first out, which is also called queue. For example, if you have something like this, and if you want to insert something, okay, and you can see that this was the first one to came in, and if this becomes the first to came out with the help of the pop 0, because in that case it will remove list from the front. So then we were able to create another data structure which is called the first in first out, and in other terms which is also called queue. So this is list can also be used in that particular way as well. Now we have something called the occurrences. We can count there's a very important handy function which is called the count. I just want to tell you, let's say if you have some duplicates elements in the list, and if you want to calculate that how many times this occurred in a particular list, so you just call a dot count and pass that value that you want to know what is the count. For example, in this case it will give you 2. So this is about the count. We will see the join function as well. This is actually this join function is basically associated with a particular string, but because it takes an argument, it takes an input as a list. I will show you this becomes very handy when we do some of the backend stuff. So let's say from the request of the backend, we want to send it something called a comma separated user IDs. Okay, so let's say user ID is 456, and I want to send this in this particular format, like 4 comma 5 comma 6 to the backend in the string format. So in this case the join functions can be very handy, because let's say I have a list like with all the user IDs, and I will just call this function. By the way, this is the comma, this is the list, and I just call this join function, and pass my list, so it will basically give me this. Okay, so this is one of the most important function. I will see you more examples of it when we do something related to it. So now we have something called the sort function. Directly, if you want to like if you want to just sort a list in some particular order, you can just call sort function. Okay, a dot sort. So basically this will arrange your items in a sorted manner, like it will be 1 5 4 5 and 8, and there's two associated functions with it, which is called the sort function, and other one is the sorted. So this function will basically do everything in place. For example, it will not create a new list, it will basically do something on the same list. So basically both will share the same memory address, and if you do something in this, it will also reflect in that. Okay, so for example, if you want to store a variable and you do a dot sort, so both are referencing to the same object, and whenever a particular thing changes in b, it will also reflect in a. So if you want to avoid that, you can use sorted, which will give you a new copy of that particular list. So yeah, so in order to understand this particular point, I have already give you that what are the mutable things and immutable in my one of the videos, where I have told you that what are the data structure that are mutable and immutable. So since list is a mutable, so if we want to create a new copy of it, so there is going to be three ways by which we can do that. Like first is the copy function, or by using list, or by using this slicing operator, we can just create a new list of it, a new copy of it, and not referencing to the same element. So okay, uh, now we have something called a very important function, which is called the zip function. Zip is like when you want to iterate two lists at the same time. For example, let's see here, like we have students and we have a mass of that particular student at the same index level. For example, if Alice at index 0, his marks is also depicted at the same index. And let's say I want to iterate the two lists at the same time, like to basically print marks with parallel to the student. So I will just use a zip. You can see there, here I've just passed it the to list here, and then I got a result. And if you see, result is basically a list of the tuples. Okay, or if you want to iterate this particular list at the same time, you can just see that we can have something called destructive way. We have just destruct this in two variables, because that was a tuple. So it will give you, basically you just give the to list and whatever content of the to list, like here is the student and mass, and you can just iterate at the same time. Unpacking the list from the zip, you can just use a star reference to unpack whatever. If you have converted a to list into a zip, you can just unpack it back with the help of this star, and you will see, you will get the original list again. So this gives you the original list back. Okay, so I guess we have talked a lot about each of the functions. Let's see in the code as well. Some of the important things I want to tell you, like how to delete it. I have shown you how to remove it. Let's see. Okay, so let's see how to remove element by value. So if you have this list, if you want to remove 3, you have the remove function, and now you will see that the list becomes this. Okay, now I want to see you implement stack using list. So if you have stack, okay, so this is basically a list. Okay, as I've shown you that if you insert something with append, it will append something to the last, and if you append something to the very last and remove at the same time, for example, if you have this particular list, okay, and if you have appending this way, and if you, so this append will basically put something at the last, and if you remove from the same then we have created something related structure which is called the last in first out, because this is the last in which came into the list, and this becomes the first thing to be came out from the list. And we have created something called LIFO, and which is called the stack. So we can use list to create the stack. For example, if we append 2, 3 and 3, and if we print the stack, but if we pop, you can see I have inserted from the same end and also inserted from the remove it from the same end. So this is something called basically a stack. Okay. We can do something with the queue that I have told you, but in this case we will be removing from the front, inserting it from the back, but removing it from the front, which is something like a queue whenever you see a particular line in a particular general store or something. So it will be very similar to that. I will be inserting, and if I just pop it from the front, you can see. So I've inserted everything from back, like first came in, then second came in, but third came in. But if we came for removal, we have removed from the front, which is the first one element. So this is very important. We have created a two important structure with the help of the list, which is called stack and queue as well. You can get the item by value or whatever the index of it. Like if you want to know the index of B, so you can just use the index function, but just pass the value. We have learned about the count function, we have learned about join. So I guess this is the very basic stuff that you want to know, and we have covered everything in this particular video. In the upcoming videos, when we talk about function and other stuff, we will see some assignments and exercises. We solve some exercises in there. We will understand each and everything in a very crystal clear manner. So that's it for the video. Keep learning. Thank you.